this video, I'm going to show you how I make the little 2-colour granny squares that I'm making for my star blanket. I'm using UK crochet terms throughout, and you will need to be familiar with slip knots, slip stitches, chains, double crochets and treble crochets. I'm using DK weight yarn, and usually I'd use a 4mm hook with this yarn, but for this project I've gone down a size to a 3.5mm as I felt that it needed to be a bit tighter. You might want to experiment with hook size yourself to see what you prefer. For the star blocks that I'm making, you will need to make 8 2-colour granny squares. I'm going to refer to my colours as the dark colour and the light colour. And the first thing we're going to do is pick up the light colour, make a slip knot and put our hook in. And then make 6 chains, and I like to pull the first one just a little bit tighter. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And this becomes our first treble and 2 chains. Next, we're going to make a treble into the first chain that we made, which will become the centre of our square. And what we need to do is we actually need to catch our contrasting dark colour yarn in that stitch. So before I wrap my yarn over to do my treble stitch, I'm going to pick up the dark yarn, lay it over the hook, and then to complete the treble, as I pull the yarn through the chain, I've caught the dark colour yarn underneath it, and then complete the treble as normal. So now you'll have 2 tails, one light and one dark there, and you've caught that dark colour contrasting yarn. Next, we're going to make another treble just as normal, but into that same chain, and again continuing to catch that dark colour yarn. We now need to make another treble, but this is the point where we're going to change colours, and we'll do that halfway through the stitch. Bear with me, I'll explain as we go along. So wrap your yarn over to start your treble, put your hook into the centre of your square, wrap your yarn over, pull the loop through as normal, wrap your yarn over, pull through 2 loops on the hook. Now we're going to drop the light coloured yarn and pick up the dark colour. Make sure you get the long part that's attached to your ball of wool and not the tail. It's easily done. And then wrap over and pull through those 2 loops on the hook to complete the treble crochet. You might want to just pull your light colour yarn a little bit just to tighten the stitch. Now make 2 chains, and this becomes your corner. So we're now using the dark colour yarn, and make 3 trebles into the centre of your square. And as you do that, just catch that light colour yarn as you go. So work your stitch over the light colour yarn, and that just keeps it moving along with you. That's the 3rd treble. Two chains for our corner, and now make 2 more trebles into that centre as normal, continuing to catch the light colour yarn as you go. Now we need to make another treble, but we've got to swap back to our light colour yarn as we do it. So it's the same process as before. So wrap your yarn over, put your hook into the centre, pull a loop through, wrap your yarn and pull it through 2 loops on the hook, drop the dark colour, pick up the light colour yarn, remember to pick up the long bit and not the tail, wrap over and pull through 2 loops on the hook. Just pull your dark colour yarn a little bit to tighten the stitch, and you've changed colour. 2 chains, which is your corner, and now we're going to complete the round by working 2 trebles into that centre again, catching the dark colour yarn as we go. And remember that first chain that we made at the very beginning was our first treble. So you need to make a slip stitch into the 3rd chain up as those 2 leftover chains becomes the corner. And that's the first round done. So we're going to move on to round 2 now. And first of all, we're going to work a double crochet and 1 chain into the first chain space. While we do this, we're going to catch the dark yarn so that it can travel around with us. All will become clear. So put your hook in, drop your light yarn down, pick your dark yarn up, wrap it over the hook, let it go, pick your light yarn up, wrap it over the hook, pull a loop of the light yarn through the chain space, wrap it over, pull through 2 loops on your hook and chain 1. So we've done a double crochet and a chain, and that's captured our dark colour yarn as we've done it. We're now going to make a treble into that same chain space, again catching the dark colour yarn as we go so it travels around with us, and then make 2 chains. Make 2 more trebles into that chain space to complete our corner, catching the dark colour yarn as we go, and then make 1 treble into each of the next 3 stitches along that side, catching the dark colour yarn as you go. As you can see there that I'm catching it underneath the stitch as I go, because it needs to travel around with us so that when we change colours it's in the right place. That's number 2, and then another treble catching that dark yarn. Okay, so continuing to catch the dark yarn, make 2 more trebles into the chain space. We're now at the corner, so that's 1. But the second treble, put your hook in, pull it through, wrap your yarn over, pull through 2 loops on hook. Now we need to change colour, so drop your light coloured yarn, pick your dark coloured yarn up, wrap it over and pull through the 2 loops on the hook to complete the treble. Pull your light yarn a little bit to tighten the stitch. Make 2 chains with your dark colour yarn and make 2 more trebles into the chain space, catching the light colour yarn as you go. That's the second one. Now we're going to continue to work along the next side by working 3 trebles into each of the next, or 1 treble into each of the next 3 stitches, catching the light colour yarn as we go. So that's the first treble, then another treble, and the third treble, catching that light colour as you go. Back at the corner now, so make 2 trebles into the chain space, catching the light yarn as you go so it travels around with us. There's the second one. Make 2 chains for your corner and 2 more trebles into the same chain space, catching your light yarn. And along the next side, make 1 treble into each of the next 3 stitches, catching the light yarn again. And now we're at the final corner, so make a treble into the chain space with your dark yarn, catching the light yarn as you go. And now we need to change back to the light yarn, so we're going to start our treble, pull a loop through of the dark colour, wrap over, pull through 2 loops on the hook, drop your dark yarn, pick up your light yarn, over the hook, pull through 2, oh dear, hang on, let me start that again. So I'm dropping my dark yarn, picking up my light yarn, wrap over and pull through the 2 loops on the hook, pull the dark yarn a little bit, 2 chains with the light yarn, And then we're going to complete the corner by working 2 trebles with the light colour yarn into the same chain space there. You don't actually need to continue catching the dark yarn at this point. I find it easier just to start to drop the dark yarn now, because when you sew your ends in, it will be nearer the dark side of that square and it'll be a little bit easier to do. So we're going to complete our square now by working 1 treble into each of the next 3 stitches. So that's 1, 2, 3. And then to join our round, just work a slip stitch into the first stitch that we made and fasten off both of your colours. There we go, you've made your 2-colour solid granny square. Thank you very much for watching my tutorial. You can find more videos on my channel and more information about this blanket on my blog. I'll put the link in the video information below. To keep up to date with what I'm making, come and follow Little Dove Crochet on Facebook and Instagram. Until next time, bye!